As part of our strategic roadmap, and in service to the students of the District of Columbia, the DC PCSB has been considering adjustments to our accountability system. As part of that process, we have engaged with the public, school leaders, and data and educational experts of the past 3 years. This is part of our authorizing responsibility to monitor and evaluate public charter schools and is in clear alignment with our mission that every DC student receives a quality education that makes them feel valued and prepares them for lifelong learning, a fulfilling career, and economic security. The work of this agency in pursuit of that mission takes many forms, including reviewing and renewing school charters, authorizing new schools, expanding campuses, school accountability, school goals, and more.
Our accountability framework analyzes school performance as part of our effort to make sure that every student gets an excellent education. It is a tool that will allow us to reward high levels of growth for most of our students. It will provide a rigorous and attainable benchmark to measure school performance. And while it focuses primarily on outcomes, those are in both performance and school climate. Our revised accountability system includes 5 frameworks based on the students served. We have the pre-K only framework, pre-K 8, high school, adult education, and alternative education. The pre-K 8 framework in particular is comprised of 5 sub-frameworks which accommodate the various grade levels depending on the school's specific grade band configuration. I'll walk through the major differences between the PMF and those proposed frameworks by grade band. For the pre-K only framework, you will see that there are going to be, instead of the 3 tiers that we are familiar with under the performance management framework, there are going to be 5 levels in the new accountability system. And here, this is really for us to get a more granular look at the performance of our schools. We previously had all of our measures in the PMF done by the all student group, and we will be disaggregating our measures and calculating them by student groups for almost all of the measures in the framework. You'll also notice that in the PMF, we had our floors and targets set by sector performance, which means that they were based on the performance of charter schools. And in the new accountability framework, we will be having our floors and targets set by state performance where available. And that means that it will not only reflect the performance of charter schools, but all schools that are pre-K only for those specific grade levels. The pre-K framework is probably the most comprehensive in terms of all of the moving pieces here. First, I want to say that, again, similar, you will see this in all of our frameworks. We are going to be shifting from 3 tiers to 5 levels. What you will see here is that there is a shift from student progress and student achievement to school progress and achievement. The emphasis here being on schools. We, as an authorizer, we measure school performance, not student performance, and we thought it would be important to make that distinction in this new framework. And again, I want to point out, we will be including the category of school-specific performance as a consistent measure across all of the frameworks. Similarly, we'll have most measures calculated by student group. Want to focus on our commitment to look at proficiency as defined as 4+ on our statewide assessment, currently PARC and in the future DC CAPE. We are committed to doing that, but what you will also see here is that we will have distinct floors and targets for both proficiency as well as growth for elementary as well as middle school. We have multiple measures of growth in this new accountability system. So you will see measure for growth that includes MGP, growth to proficiency, and the inclusion of growth on our access assessment. There is also the opportunity for schools to opt in to using school-selected nationally normed growth assessments for bonus points. This can only help a school, it will not hurt a school. You'll see in the Pre-K-8 framework that we are shifting from in-seat attendance to chronic absenteeism. And again, school-specific measures are embedded in this framework. I want to talk about high school. You will see many of the same elements in the Pre-K-8 framework, but I do want to focus on here. What you will see is a shift from the college acceptance to college and career acceptance. This is an area where we want to be able to reflect the work that many of our schools are doing to get students career ready. All of the other measures are similar to what you saw for Pre-K-8. In collaboration with our adult schools, we've made several updates to the framework to ensure that it accurately captures the tremendous effort that our adult schools invest in the everyday lives of the students that they support. So like the other frameworks, the adult schools will also have a score of 1 to 5 on the performance level measures. You will see here that the categories within the adult framework will be renamed again from student to school achievement, and we have merged here the college and career readiness category with the school achievement category. We also revised our approach to setting targets, particularly the aspirational targets. And we're moving away from the previous practice of targeting 100% achievement to have targets that are more informed by state and national averages. This shift really allows us to establish equitable but challenging targets that reflect the actual work and quality that's happening in our schools. Our commitment to showcasing the hard work of adult schools is also evident in the expansion of our earned high-level certification measure. We now consider a broader range of certifications, including mid-level and additional industry-level certifications. And this approach encourages diverse programming and presents kind of a more comprehensive picture of the adult school's contributions to preparing students for their futures. Based on feedback from school leaders, we've consolidated multiple measures into one that's now known as the Entered, Retained Employment or Post-Secondary Enrollment Rate. One of the most significant changes to the adult framework is the removal of the in-seat attendance measure from the school environment category. Instead, we've shifted our focus to student persistence, recognizing that in-seat attendance didn't really capture the full scope, the unique and diverse programming that's happening at adult schools. And then consistent with our other frameworks, we transformed the display-only mission-specific here to those baked-in school-specific performance measures.
This framework is a tool, the kind of centerpiece of discussion that every stakeholder in the system uses to hold our schools and also us accountable for the work that we're doing to improve outcomes for kids.
I mean, the heart of the charter movement is autonomy in exchange for strong accountability. And I think the work that we've done on this new revised accountability framework takes into consideration the nuances of our student demographics, the variety of our schools, and what our city looks like as the city is also changing.